Welcome, everybody, to episode 9 of the Tool and Tie podcast. Hey guys, welcome to episode 9 of the Tool and Tie podcast. Today we're going to have a really good show again. It's going to be a solo show. And the theme of this week's episode is going to be around home automation. Now, home automation has been getting a lot of attraction and attention in the media as of late, with people coming from or with different organizations coming up with different products. So you've got things like the Wink app, you've got SmartThings, you've got Revolve, there's Staples Connect, there's the Lutron Bird. So there's a whole bunch of different home automation tools out there today. And the one we're going to focus on this week specifically is Wink. Now, the reason why I chose Wink was because I've actually been using the hub for a number of months now. And I don't really like reviewing products when they first come out because you never know how they're going to perform. Typically, a lot of people will do reviews on unboxings and whatnot on new products, but at the same time, they haven't really spent a lot of time using the product. And sometimes I feel that some of the opinions that I get, at least when I watch those videos, are a little premature. So what I wanted to do was give you some insight into my experience with the Wink hub specifically. I wanted to sort of give you an idea of whether or not you should try it and buy it, or whether you shouldn't at the end of the day. Now, I'm going to be doing a couple of podcasts on home automation. I'll be trying out different hubs and different systems out there. So today's episode is specifically on the Wink hub. Now, when I look at ranking any kind of technical product, whether it is a home automation hub, whether it's a new phone, a computer, or anything, I typically focus on 5 key areas. Those areas are, number 1, ease of use. Number 2, assortment of products, and I'll explain what that means in a second. Number 3, performance. Number 4, security. And number 5, customer service. So let's get right into ease of use. Now, when I say ease of use, it's pretty much self-explanatory. How easy is it to use the interface once you get up and running? With the Wink hub, I found that the interface is fairly intuitive. It's fairly straightforward. There's no desktop support for Wink today, but there is a lot of mobile integration. So they've got an Android app and they've got an iOS app. The graphic interface is fairly intuitive, like I said, and it's easy to use. Now, where the issue really comes is pairing some of the devices. So I lump that into ease of use as well. I've seen a lot of folks on Twitter and a lot of a lot of online articles just in terms of getting some of these devices paired up. And it seems like a lot of folks are having a hard time, myself included. I was one of those individuals that did have a hard time as well. So I would say once you have it up and running, it's fairly easy to use. Now, we'll talk about performance in a second, but it's fairly easy to use. Like, it's simple for you to open up the app and you see, here's all my lighting controls, here's all my lock controls, and what have you. The issue, though, is, and like I said, I lump this into ease of control, is pairing the devices. I find that sometimes there are certain products that pair very well. So like all my Lutron lights and the light in the home, they paired very, very well to the hub. Then you go at other devices like the GE light bulbs or the Schlage lock, which took a really long time to pair. And it's although the app is fairly intuitive on how to do it, it just doesn't work. And I found that to be extremely frustrating. So what I'm doing with all of these 5 criteria, I'm actually ranking everything out of 5. So when we talk about ease of use, I gave the Wink hub a 3 out of 5. Like I said, it's intuitive to use, but only when it works, and when it doesn't work, it can get quite frustrating. The second one is the assortment of products. And what I mean by this is what other products can connect to the hub, either sold on the Wink store or if it's sold in like a Home Depot, for example. Now, Home Depot is endorsing the Wink products, and you'll find typically most of the Wink products sitting in Home Depot or on the Wink store. I would say Wink has a fairly impressive line of products that it can connect to. It can connect to locks, garage door openers, motion sensors, pretty much just about everything. There hasn't really been a time where I haven't been able to find something. It even connects to an irrigation system, which is kind of cool as well. Now, the one bummer about connectivity and about assortment is the Wink will connect to things like the Nest. It'll connect to other platforms as well, but what it doesn't connect to is Wemo. And Belkin Wemo is I'd say it's a growing market as well, and there's a lot of people that are buying into the Wemo switches and the light bulbs and all that other kind of stuff. And the fact that it doesn't integrate into it is kind of a bummer. And when I talked to the technical support at first, they said that integration was on its way. And then I actually talked to the CEO of Wink, Ben Kaufman, and through an email, he confirmed that Wemo would not be part of the Wink platform. So that's kind of a bummer because it is part of a competitive platform called SmartThings. So having said that, it still does connect to a lot of things. It'll connect to Lutron bulbs. It'll connect to, Lutron switches, Lutron blinds, Bally blinds, Leviton, Schlage, Nest, Chamberlain. And these are just some of the big brands that it will connect to. So I would say for a assortment standpoint, I actually rated this a 4 out of 5. Now, performance. Number 3, performance. I would say performance when it first came out was pretty good. Over the last couple of months, the performance has actually started to deteriorate. With every single hub update, I find that things are going slower and they're not working up to par for me. I've had scenarios where my locks don't respond or my lights don't respond, or I'm just standing there in front of my garage with my garage door not opening, and it could get a little frustrating. So I would say from a performance standpoint, they're actually taking a turn for the worse, and I'm really hoping they can turn that around. So from a performance standpoint, and I'm being generous here, I'm giving them a 2 out of 5. Now, security is obviously quite important. When we're talking about home automation, you want to make sure that the hub and the connected devices associated with it are fairly secure. So I'm not sure if you guys have been following the news with Wink, but a couple of months ago, Wink actually had I would say quite an embarrassing catastrophe that happened to them. So what they did is they pushed out a firmware update to all Wink Hub owners. And the problem was there was something, I guess, wrong with that firmware update. The update was actually not able to allow the Wink Hub to connect to the Wink servers. Now, everything with Wink is done through the cloud. And that's not always the greatest thing because when it goes to the cloud, things tend to slow down a little bit as well. But then you're also relying on a third party and their cloud to run the integration. So long story short, they patched it. They put in some kind of a security fix, and it completely locked them out of any kind of way to communicate back to the hub. So that was kind of embarrassing for them. What they did is they were asking owners to ship back their hubs, and they were at least paying for it, which is good. But owners were without hubs for weeks sometimes. Or they were asking some of the more advanced tech guys to do a DNS solution. Now, to their credit, they did give out a $50 credit to everybody affected, but a lot of people still were angry even about that $50 credit because the store, if you go to the Wink store, it's already overpriced as it is, and the shipping was about $25 on some of the cheapest items. So it really didn't help a lot. May have made things a little bit worse, but at the end of the day, I mean, the hubs were back up and running, and they attributed to the fact that the hub was so secure that they weren't able to get into it. And that's, it's good and it's bad. Now, typically for something like that, I'd give them a 5 out of 5 for security, but the fact that they were locked out of their own hubs, I downgraded them down to a 4 out of 5. Now, last but not least is customer service. When you actually look at customer service for something like Wink versus its competitors, SmartThings or Staples Connect or what have you, I found that Wink actually had the best customer service, bar none. Hands down, it was the best customer service. They would spend hours with you on the phone trying to resolve an issue, and you can tell that they genuinely wanted to help you solve your problem. It's very easy to actually get support. You can go through their Facebook page, you can go through Twitter, or you can actually give them a call, which I believe is 24 hours a day. Email support I found was very, very slow, so I would not recommend going that route. But overall, their customer service really want to help you out. So from a customer service standpoint, I give Wink a 5 out of 5. Now the total tally is 18 out of 25. So 18 out of 25. That's, three, just a little over three, just a little over three. And you want to ask yourself, is that something worth buying at this point? Now, one thing with Wink is they actually do a lot of promos. So if you buy things on their website, they'll give you the Wink Hub for free. If you go to Home Depot and you want to swap out some of your existing lights switches, so if you buy, like, say, a Lutron switch and you spend X amount of dollars, I think it's like $50, they give you the hub for 99 cents. In that case, it's worth it. Pick it up, play around with it, try it. Don't expect the world with it, unless they go back and address some of these performance issues. But, it's a nice little thing to have around. But if you're looking to have this as your full-blown, full-time home automation system and you want to rely on it and you're willing to spend the full $50 price tag on it, I would say you may want to hold off. There's some other competitor items such as the SmartThings Hub version 2 that's coming out. And one of the big things in version 2 is it actually supports local processing, so you don't have to worry about going through the cloud. If your internet goes down, you'll still be able to control some of your devices, which is a really big win. Now, my fear with Wink is if they are not able to turn around their performance issues, you're going to be left with a $50 paperweight. So, really, I'd say monitor their Twitter feed. You have a lot of good customer feedback on the good and the bad, and you'll also see, just if you go to the app stores, they'll have a lot of people rating the apps as well, saying, okay, well, this is working and this is not. But like I said, if you want to give it a try, give it a shot. But at this stage, at this point, during the time of this recording, which is in June 2015, I would say hold off and wait for the SmartThings version 2. The local processing is a big thing, and they're promising a lot more integration as well. So hopefully that helped you guys out. I will do another home automation podcast on another system. Just give me some time to get my hands on one and to play around with it. But I should have that out fairly soon as well. So until next time, guys, stay happy, stay productive, and stay safe.